Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. I am pleased to bring on none other than Snotty Drippin, or also known as James Hollis. To come on the show, we're going to talk some serious basketball, most mainly the Celtics. Would that be correct in saying that, James?
That would be correct, Coach.
Well, I don't want to forget that we could go too farther to give a little shout out to our friends over at whowouldwinit.ca, and they have these really cool shirts that you might be able to see here. This is our Wilt Chamberlain one they sent over here, so check them out because they got some really cool, creative T-shirts. Now, to get from Wilt Chamberlain into the Celtics is not a real great segue, but James, what is the first thing that stands out in your mind when you think Celtics for this year?
For this year, the first thing that's on my mind is Al Horford. They're making the next step in the progression. They did as much as they could last year, and they added a bona fide foundational player in Al Horford, and I couldn't be happier.
Oh, I know. It was a really great pickup for them, considering they were trying to get, Kevin Durant, and they've tried to get Kevin Love in the past. And so, to settle for Horford is pretty good. And it seems like he's like 37 by now?
No. Al's not that old. He's, 30? He'll be 30, I think 33 or 34 by the end of the contract. So he's still in his prime. He's ready to roll. He's been gently used last couple of years because he had issues with his pectoral muscles, and so that last year was one of his first full seasons, and he looked fantastic in the preseason game.
I agree. I was watching their half-court offense and seeing what they're doing with him, and they had this really cool thing that I'm going to show in a video coming up, how they kind of throw it to him on the top of the key, and then he hands it right back off to the guy, sort of like a pick and roll, sort of a handoff, but sort of a lot of space to attack the middle, and it looks tailor-made for him to either pop or drive.
Yeah, he's one of the smartest big men out there, very versatile. So and I watched last night, and his timing was impeccable. He knows when to hold that screen a second longer, when to dive hard, like catch it and pop. There was a time when he grabbed a defensive rebound, bust out, dribble down the court, his head's up, he scanned the perimeter, and they flow right to their offense. It was beautiful to see.
So are they going to go a traditional two big man with Amir Johnson and him in the starting lineup?
I believe so, and I think that's the right way to go. You can call him the power forward or center. It doesn't really matter. As long as they're two smart, mobile big men who can step on the perimeter and contain. They're going to crash the boards. He's not the strongest rebounder, but he's a smart rebounder, knows how to use his size and leverage. I think either with besides him, or if they can go small and put Crowder at power forward and let him run center, they'll be fine.
Well, talking about Crowder, I saw quite a number of threes that he was taking and very confident knocking some of them down. I think that this is his year to really put his stamp on the NBA. I've been really high on Crowder for a long time and kind of taken some shit for it, excuse my language, some crap for it. And I think that here's a guy who's a terrific defender on the perimeter. He can shoot now, where I don't know if he could shoot as well when he got in the league. And he looks like he can be that guy that can fit into Stevens' offense and really, probably get to maybe 20 points a game.
Maybe not 20, but you're right. He's one of those. He's that consummate, versatile small forward / power forward. He can be a small ball power forward that every team needs. He fills in the cracks. He's like that glue guy. And I think last year he should have been an all-star. So he's a borderline all-star. Look, DeMar Carroll got paid big time because of his skill set, and Crowder's a lot like that. Not quite the size, but he crashes the boards. He's a cutter. He can hit the open three. He can defend. Every team needs a player like that.
Oh, I agree. I'm really excited to watch how that develops as well. And then they're going to have to figure out who's the man and who's not the man. Who else are we talking about? I guess we're talking about the man. We can't ignore the little man, Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, Isaiah Thomas is the spark plug engine that makes the Celtics go. I think the addition of Al Horford is going to make him a lot more efficient. He wasn't inefficient at all last year, but he's going to take it to another level. Simply, a big thing is the pick and roll. Last year, the Celtics roll men they finished in 10th percentile in points per possession. Last year, Isaiah Thomas and the guards, the ball handlers, finished in the 34th percentile. They just didn't score well out of the pick and rolls. Al Horford, I think, is going to just take that dimension to the next level. He was in the 78th percentile last year as the roll man. So, and I think Isaiah Thomas himself was in the 77th percentile. So together, they should be a pretty potent combination in the pick and roll, and that's going to just open up everything else for the rest of the Celtics offense.
Absolutely. That looks exciting, and we know they're going to get a lot of movement, so they can use that pick and roll just to get the defense collapse a little bit and then get it kicked out into the perimeter, where we see some really fantastic, just they want to give it up, make the extra pass, find and hunt that good shot. And now we're talking about guys in the backcourt like, Avery Bradley is back, and what do you see? Is he going to fit in well with this group?
he's going to fit in perfectly. He's not a great ball handler, but he's a dynamite spot-up shooter, dynamite defender, dynamite moving off the ball. So Al Horford roam in the middle, and Isaiah Thomas, penetrating. He's going to find spots and soft spots in that defense to hit his mid-range or the three-pointer. Perfect. Marcus Smart. Talk about Marcus Smart. This is a big season for him. He's been a historically bad shooter up until now. He's a great defender, tenacious. He can make things happen off the bounce a little bit, but his shooting has been atrocious. Let's hope that the addition of Al Horford opens up more for him, and he gets better, more balanced shots, and he can get that percentage up, to an acceptable level.
Right. I mean, the idea being that he gets a little bit more experience, perhaps he improved in the offseason, and he can go to town on the reserves because certainly as a starter, I know that's not going to work as well for him, but it sounds like coming off the bench, Smart could really do some damage.
I totally agree. Him, and don't forget Jaylen Brown, the rookie. Yesterday, he looked really good. I think 8 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He showed a pretty decent off the dribble game, made a couple of nice plays going to the rim off the dribble, passes and scoring. So he had a huge dunk down the middle. I love his aggression. So I think the bench might be a stronger point this year. Last year, of course, the interchangeability and versatility was a big boon. This year, I think if Smart can get it together, that athleticism is going to be a problem for everybody.
Do I have in my mind's eye an image of Jaylen Brown like doing a turnaround in the post and nailing it last night?
He caught it in the mid post along the baseline kind of and hit a nice little turnaround. He looked fluid. He looked confident with the shot. I think the kid's going to be special. I wasn't disappointed with the pick, but the more I see him, the more I'm sure that that Danny Ainge made a good pick.
Right. And so what we have here with Brad Stevens is that they have an offense that's going to move the ball and get good shots. You can pretty much rely on that. Whether they hit him or not is a question mark. But we know they're going to get good action out of their out-of-bounds plays. Brad Stevens is one of those guys that really knows how to stress that and get extra points every game from that. And so that side of the ball might actually be taken care of. And then you look at, Crowder and Bradley and Smart and Horford. It seems to me that this would be a top 10 defensive club.
Let's hope so. And that's the thing with Brad Stevens. I think he gets a lot of credit, but I still see some people kind of underrate him. He's done the most with the least, I think, and I think he's going to find innovative ways to move around Al Horford and make use of the young Jaylen Brown's athleticism. And if he can get those guys to buy in and lock down, not a lot of shot blocking, but it's about being a deterrent in the paint. If he can get those guys to do that, I mean, look, Charlotte was a top 10 defense, and they didn't really have a shot blocker. It's all about getting the guys to buy into the scheme.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really excited to watch this. And before we wrap up, I want to make sure everybody knows to go over to our .com. We have a fantastic series of the top 50 NBA players. And we also did an article on Al Horford written by James right here. So definitely check it out in the link in the description below or on the screen. And as we wrap up, what are we thinking the Celtics are going to finish here this year?
I'm trying to keep it kind of conservative. I'm saying 52 wins. I know certain other sites have 54 or 50. I'm going to keep it conservative, say 52, but they're going to be much improved. Just needed more seasoning, and they're going to be tougher and more confident in their game. So I'll say 52.
Wow. All right. Well, that seems pretty a pretty good spot for them to get into or to aspire to. So I would say anything over 50 would be a successful season for them. And let's see, 50 wins probably gets them fourth seed, maybe third, fourth.
Maybe I'm guessing low because I think they're the third seed. I'm going to give Toronto the respect they earned last season and think they finished second. But I think Boston will be nipping at the heels all season.
Wow. Well, I can't wait to get the season started. I don't know about you, but man, I started watching these preseason games and I am ready.
Oh, yeah. You know it, Coach.
Well, let's bring it on. And thanks for coming on the show, James. We'll have you on again real soon. And don't forget, sports fans, at BBallBreakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in? Are you in, James?
You know it.